Hello there, Joseph Hennessy. The name of the channel is The Children. On YouTube, it's Joseph Hennessy 1161. And we got the gun range happening in the background. I'm not in the Ukraine, so nobody's shooting at me, I hope. But anyway, I'm looking for like-minded souls who are just tired of the narrative of the Matrix, which is coming to an end, slowly but surely. I'm looking for light workers, star seeds, rainbow warriors, empaths, spiritual beings, human beings, extraterrestrial, witch, warlock, because we're all just spiritual beings having human experiences on this lovely planet that's been destroyed by some bad people. But it's being fixed slowly but surely. And there's at times, if they could have blown this planet up, they would have blown it up. Anybody ever wonder why no nuclear weapons ever get used? Because the powers to be won't let it happen. So I'm just throwing out some different narratives to people, some different information. Not information, because information just keeps you in line. Some different knowledge. You go out and do your own research, which means you can read. You can start digging holes in a lot of things that are going on, especially the last 5 years. A lot of lies, a lot of deception. But I can't wake anybody up. You have to wake up for yourself. I'm just fortunate enough to have been able to see through all the BS of the Matrix. So I'm just here to spread my story, my truth, my knowledge. It's not so much I need anybody to believe me, because I don't. I just want people to think for themselves, because you can poke holes in a lot of the stuff that's going on Mother Gaia, and it's usually not very good. Most of their deception, their nefarious plans, their lies, because everything's a lie. Everything about Mother Gaia is a lie, because our history is a lie. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about our governor, one of the greatest liars in the history of the planet, the most empty politician ever to live. Destroyed San Francisco, destroyed Sacramento, destroyed California. It was all part of his plan. So some lady was grilling him about, guess what? We have a cost override happening at the state capitol with some construction. And there's no transparency, and it's way over budget. And he's up there with his lawyer, and some lady's grilling him, and he's acting like he doesn't know anything, because that's what he does. He's a gaslighter, and he knows how to deflect. And his first line out of his mouth is, well, you're my lawyer, which is the most empty, idiotic thing for him to say, because she was asking him the question. But he was trying to be funny, because he thinks he's funny. He thinks because he's a pretty boy, everybody buys his BS. So the lady's asking for why there's no transparency. She's been asking for interviews and information, and he goes, well, I'll have to look into that for you. You should have the information. Typical Gavin Newscum, just gaslight. They're a couple $100 million over the budget doing some renovation up in Sacramento, but yet he went right to Trump. That's all they got. It's Trump this, Trump bad, Trump orange man bad. But Trump is doing all that renovation in the White House with privately funded money, and he's using some of his own money. He's the same president that just got a free $400 million airplane for the next president. But Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump loves his country. But Gavin Newscum, that's all he's got. He's the worst politician ever. Then he's upset because they're going to have the National Guard at polling stations during some election. Well, what is he worried about? Are all the illegal aliens coming to vote? Well, they must be if he's so upset about it. If you have your proper identification, there should be no problem. So he's creating a problem that doesn't even exist, because he let all those illegal aliens into California so they could change the demographics of the voting. Didn't work. Then I saw him on the Steven Jackson podcast, ex-NBA player, played for the Warriors, George Floyd's best friend, allegedly. And Gavin Newscum is coming off like he grew up in the western addition of San Francisco, eating bologna sandwiches, while his dad worked for the Gettys as a lawyer. A billionaire family, so his dad must have been a pretty good lawyer if he was just part of the deep state to be the Getty lawyer. But he came across like he was not privileged. It was so inauthentic. I would implore everybody to go and watch the Steven Jackson podcast with Gavin Newscum, and you'll just shake your head in disbelief. Then he's doing all that hand gesture and stuff. I don't know why he does that, because nothing comes out of his mouth except garbage. So I don't buy any of his crap. $200 million on the, actually it's not even $200 million, it's a lot more than that on that high-speed rail. There's no rails been laid down, and they're building it between Bakersfield and Fresno, where nobody lives. It's farmland. Where'd all the money go? Same with the homeless. $1 billion, $2 billion to get rid of the homeless. It's worse than it's ever been. All the illegal aliens that he let into the state. He spent more of the state money on illegal aliens for free food, free housing, free medical. And that's all part of what reason why the government's closed down, because they said they need the money for medical for people. No, they need the medical money for the migrants, which they won't spend so they can do their dirty work. But it was so, I just laugh at him. That's all I can do, because he's a joke. Nothing comes out of his mouth. But he got on that black man's podcast and acted like he was a poor black child, throwing the ball against the wall by himself and shooting 3 throws by himself and making his dad proud, and it was just pathetic. But please watch the podcast. So that's what we're up against. But it's coming to an end. He wants to be the president. It's not going to happen. Him and Kamala, they can be president, vice president. They're talking about running. What a joke. So the other thing I wanted to speak about, enough of Gavin Newscum, because he's just a scum. He'll meet his maker, and he'll have to make a deal with his maker, because he's done nothing for nobody. Now, I forgot to talk about all the people he put into the retirement homes during COVID, and they all passed away because they gave them remdesivir and put them on ventilators, and they ended up dying of organ failure because they pumped them full of air and drowned on their own fluid. It's been noted. He's not a good person. So the other thing I wanted to speak about is they're coming. The aliens, they're already here. They've been here for a long time. They walk amongst us. Not everybody's human. There's Pleiadians running around, which are good beings. They look the most like us. They're very Nordic looking. I think Baron Trump might be a Pleiadian. They're very tall, have that Nordic look to them. But I share this all the time. Every morning I go out, I look into the sky, and I see orbs, ships flying across the sky all the time. This morning I was looking out over the bay. Lights were turning on and flying across the sky, and then they would gradually just fade out. And there were 7 to 8 of them. And they were in roughly the same area, but different spots. It's very cool. More than welcome to come out and have a cup of coffee and watch them with me. I've seen, at this point, probably thousands of them. They're out there. The Atlas, 3IA Atlas, is a ship full of Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lyrans, Syrians, people from Sirius A, Sirius B. There's 200 other different realms of different humanoids. Some look like lions, Pleiadians look like tall, blonde-haired Nordics. The Arcturians are blue. All different. We're all different. That's what's so cool when we finally get to meet our fellow people, because none of us are from this planet. We're all spiritual beings having human experiences. And this is a failed experience. This is a failed experiment, free will that's being changed. And they're overseeing everything that's happening. But we're doing the work. Light workers like myself, spreading unconditional love, light, happiness. Even my enemies, I send them love and light, because that's what God wants you to do. God wants you to be God. And that doesn't mean you're all powerful like God, but what it means is your core. He wants you to be loving, kind, gentle, service to others, help other people. If you help other people, you know what? Good things come back to you. And that's what this is all about. They keep us in such a low frequency on this planet, and it's their drug, the Illuminati, the deep state, the Anunnaki, whatever you want to call them. There's two types of adrenochrome. There's the human form of it, and there's the energetical form of adrenochrome, which is us in a low frequency of misery. All the people on the planet, like the Rothschilds, and even the Clintons, they love us to be miserable. It excites them. They get off on it. This planet is run by some satanic people, evil people. But it's coming to an end. But they're already out there, and nobody's here to hurt us. 3IA Atlas is on a slow progression to Earth. They're part of the disclosure. They're coming down. The veil's being lifted. This is a closed system, a duality planet, a test planet. But it just keeps failing, and so it's being converted back to what it was originally intended to be. A fifth dimension planet of abundance, joy, freedom, unconditional love, no wars, no poverty, nobody hoarding all the money like the Rothschilds, BlackRock, and Vanguard, Bill Gates, all those billionaires who do nothing for nobody. We're going back to the original blueprint, the template, where everybody is treated the same. We're all going to have money in our bank accounts where you don't have to work. And if you do work, you're going to do something that you enjoy doing. They lie about everything. They told us 50, 75 years ago that UFOs didn't exist. Yet they had Area 51. Why? Now the information's coming out about the Russians having a gray alien called Skinny Bob, as well as the Americans, and their boy was called J-Rod. So they've been lying to us about extraterrestrials because we're all extraterrestrials. When we find out our real heritage, our real truth, and all the lives that you lived, the people you've been, it's going to be a great thing. That's what the fifth dimension is all about. Finding out who you are. Finding out about all your space family. I know they're out there. They talk to me all the time. The signs, the synchronicities, they never stop. Quick little story. I was at the gym. A young black lady's wearing an Usher t-shirt. And I dance to Usher all the time. And I was going to say something to her, and I said, I'll just leave her alone. So I'm starting to walk away, and the next song on my playlist is Usher. So I turned around and I said something to her. Just little signs and synchronicities like that, I get them all the time. 1111, 2222. It's unbelievable. The first number I started seeing was the number 69. And I still see that number to this day. Once you wake up, it's a beautiful thing. It's just a matter of, are you tired of the matrix? Ascending to the fifth dimension is a lot of work. did a lot of head banging, a lot of anger. They say that I'm clearing family lineage, ancestry ties, come from the Irish. People are no good. But what I found out, I am the most worthy guy on this planet. So are you. You know what? We're going to get what we're worth, what we're entitled to. The meek shall inherit the earth. We're the meek. All I am is planting seeds today. This is going to take time. We need to change our frequency, raise our consciousness, love each other. Stop watching the news. It's all part of the matrix coming to an end. But I only can tell you my story. Please do your own research. Start digging. Google Ascension. Ascension. Ascension to the fifth dimension. The human resonance. Why are all the great pyramids in line with the stars and the constellations? Space is deep. Our space is in the ocean. But the space out there is way deeper than anybody could ever imagine. But they're coming, slowly but surely. The 3AI Atlas is coming. Part of the disclosure. I hope I'm on the ship when they come down. I have no fear. This is a beautiful planet. And if they could have destroyed it, it would have been destroyed a long time ago. Because there's a lot of natural resources that many civilizations would love to possess. This is a beautiful planet. It's just goes wrong. It's a test planet, a free will planet. But it's being changed back to a high frequency, loving planet of unconditional love. Fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, it's all coming to us. The veil is being lifted. You're going to be able to communicate with all your ancestors, find out who you've been in all your lives. That's why we only use 10% of our brain and 10% of our DNA, because we've been dumbed down. But the power is being unleashed right now. They're shooting at me again. But anyway, we have to raise our consciousness, our frequency. That's all it is. Stop hating each other. They're trying their best to start civil war in the United States, but it's not going to work. Antifa is paid by people like George Soros, Warren Buffett, all NGOs that are laundering and funneling money through the American government. So we're paying for all this civil unrest. Why? We didn't do this during the last 4 years when Joe Biden was running the country into the ground. Nobody sees what's truly going on. We're up against some evil people. The whole government is broken and evil. Republicans, Democrats, they're all broken, 95% of them. Donald Trump is not a politician. He can't just come out and do everything the way everybody expects him to do it. We're up against some evil forces, and he's winning. They tried to kill him, they tried to impeach him, they tried to bankrupt him, and guess what? Nothing happens. And everything that they accuse him of, they were doing. People don't get it. Donald Trump set everybody up. Watch what's going to happen to Barack Obama and all this last 10 years of Hillary and Hunter Biden's laptop and Russiagate and Steele dossier. January 6th, oh Lord, shit's going to start running downhill. And when people find out about not January 6th, because that was a setup too, because people who loved their guns forgot to bring their guns to an insurrection. But when they start finding out about 9/11 and even going back to Watergate and all that good stuff, John Kennedy Sr., it's over. But he set them all up. They've all buried themselves with all the lawfare that they used against him. He is way smarter, and he's got a lot of extraterrestrial help guiding his way. He is the great disruptor of the matrix. I've heard it over and over again from a bunch of different sources, humans and non-humans. He's here to do exactly what he's doing. People don't know what's really happening behind the scenes as we speak right now. The fake news doesn't tell you about all the pedophiles and all the kids that he's found so far. They don't tell you that. All they do is just talk about nothing issues, but the man is doing his job. But the extraterrestrials are out there. We're all extraterrestrials. They're not coming down here until we figure this situation out ourselves, and we're doing it. The whole world is in an uprise. If you go to Telegram, you'll see for yourself, Ireland, England, all over Europe, they want their countries back. They've all been infiltrated and polluted with bad people, and they're doing it on purpose because they want a one world government. So they just want one kind of person screwed up. They don't want any more ethnicity. It makes no sense. You should be proud of what you are. But anyway, they're out there. We're winning. They're rooting us on. If you ask for help, if you're struggling, ask your higher power, your spirit guides, Pleiadians, Valerians, Arcturians. Ask them to send you love and light. If you can't do that, get out and ground yourself. Get in the water. I had my feet in the water yesterday. My feet started bleeding because little things called jiggers, Jiggers, were biting my feet. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but get out and play, ground. Mother Nature is the best medicine for stress, and we don't do that. Take them shoes off. Very important. We're all extraterrestrials having human experiences, but we're going back just to being extraterrestrials and finding out who we really are and where we came from. It's going to be one fun ride. One day at a time, we're getting there. Namaste.